Hi there. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope your day is going very well. Um, so, sorry, I said very fast, but I said already. I do have a class today. It's not so much a safety training as a way of identifying something that maybe it can be confusing. And so I was with somebody today in the van, and they asked me to do a class on this. And we noticed that there was a whole lot of really dark smoke in the sky. And we were looking at it, and then as we kind of drove past it, it just dissipated and went away. And we're like, "What was that?" But it looked like smoke from a fire, and so we were kind of discussing what different smoke looks like. Like, was it a because they were saying that it might have been just some fog or something like that, but it was pretty dark smoke, so I'm thinking it's still a fire. But at the same time, it went away so fast that we weren't sure. So I figured let's do a class on it and figure out how firefighters actually identify different types of smoke and things like that. So this article's on reading smoke signals and how firefighters use smoke signals. So one of the most important skills all firemen should possess is the ability to read smoke signals. The ability to read the smoke of any position within the company can help those responding to the incident make better tactical decisions on basically, and all that means is how do we actually put this fire out. And being able to read what kind of smoke it is makes it a lot easier for them to figure out how to put it out and how to put it out effectively, not make it actually grow. And, because that's one thing you don't want from a fire is for it to grow even more. So smoke can help first responders determine the fire's location, growth, toxicity, the direction of travel. In the case of a structure fire, it helps us predict hostile fire events like smoke explosions, backdrafts, and flashovers. Reading smoke can tell us what is happening now and, more importantly, what is going to happen in the future. So the author of The Art of Reading Smoke by David W. Dodson. So watching, and this is also from First Responder Dodson, watching how fast it is changing can tell if we have seconds or minutes before something happens, because fires can suddenly burn out of control. And it's kind of scary how quickly that can happen. So a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, I just have to do this real fast, and we'll be able to take care of it." But it could spread up a curtain. It could spread all sorts of different ways, and also depending on, like they said, the toxicity of it. If you breathe it in, it can really be. You could pass out from it and things like that. So there's a lot of different things that go into fire, and this is why if there is a fire, it's best to call the fire department. So types of smoke signals. So the art of reading smoke must first start with what compromised the emission. Smoke is made up of particulates, aerosols, and gases, and has 4 attributes. So these are the 4 attributes. Smoke volume, so how big it is. Smoke velocity, how fast it can grow. Smoke density, how thick the smoke is, things like that. And of course, finally, smoke color. So you can tell what kind of fire it is from the color of the smoke, which is kind of what prompted this class. So smoke volume can provide a useful indication of the location and indicates the amount of fuels off-gassing within an area. So the measure of volume is important, but unfortunately it elucidates or says nothing much more than location. There can be large volumes of smoke with very little fire. So, I mean, there's that old saying, there's a lot of smoke there, but not a lot of fire. But, and a lot of times that is, like, something can burn and it just puts off tons of smoke, but there's not much fire. But, of course, you always check to make sure that things are safe. Smoke velocity. So smoke velocity is the speed of the smoke leaving the structure. So the velocity is an indicator of pressure that has built up within the compartment. If the velocity of smoke leaving an opening is agitated or turbulent, very fast, then rapid fire progress is likely to occur. So wind, of course, is something that would affect that. In these cases, unless a structure is ventilated and cooled, a backdraft, which is explosive burning of heated gases, will occur due to improper ventilation. That's why, they fire chiefs and things like that check different places to make sure that they're like each place that people go is very sound and it won't go up in flames very fast. And that's why you have to make sure that different places people go, structured like, say, where we go, like program-wise, we want to make sure that everybody's safe, and so people come through and check to say, hey, you need to change this, or everything is good to go, but we want to make sure so that everybody's safe. Smoke density was the next part. So smoke density refers to the thickness of the emission and how much fuel is laden in the smoke. And optical density refers to how difficult it is to see through the smoke. So optical is obviously what you can see. Thick or optically dense smoke contains a high concentration of particulates and is difficult to see through. The greater the smoke density, the more likely a hostile fire event, such as flashover, or it could be rapid fire spread. The thicker the smoke, the more spectacular the flashover or the fire spread. Worse yet, due to the concentration, thick black smoke can be an ignitable fuel. So that kind of is a nice transition into smoke color. But again, you can tell, like, if it's something that's kind of a light smoke, not as dangerous as something that's really thick and hard to see through. That's an indication that something's very hot and going to be harder to control. So first responders have to be a lot more careful and take their time when it comes to something where the density is thicker. And then finally, smoke color. So smoke color is the visible shade of the spectrum. I hope it tells us a little bit about what each color means. I really, really do. So smoke color is the visible shade of the spectrum and tells the stage of the fire as well as helps determine the location of the fire. So petroleum products, rubber, and many plastics will produce black smoke. Wood and other ordinary combustibles will commonly produce smoke ranging from light gray to a yellowish color. That's interesting. I would have thought it would be different. So when it comes to petroleum, rubber, and plastics, that's going to be it will produce black smoke. I thought it might be probably more wood. It's important to make a distinction that light-colored smoke frequently contains a substantial concentration of unburned, highly flammable, and deoxygenated materials. Under these conditions, the smoke can ignite and create a hazardous and possibly deadly situation for firefighters. So that's interesting to know that the lighter the smoke is actually, the more flammable that's the smoke is indicating that it's going to be more flammable and hence spread faster and things like that. Again, I would have thought it was different. So with density, the lighter the smoke still, kind of the more dangerous smoke. So let's see. Under these conditions, the smoke can ignite and create a hazardous and possibly deadly situation for firefighters. But when a fire produces dark brown or even black, it is an indication that the fire is underventilated and or it contains an abundance of petroleum products. Additionally, brownish smoke will tell you that the fire has ignited wood, which usually means that the fire has infiltrated the structural integrity of the building and could provide a collapse hazard. So when it comes to brownish smoke, that means, yeah, it's already kind of gotten into the wood of the structure, and then things could start to fall down. So very important to know. The color of smoke is generally thought of as the most comprehensive indicator of fire behavior. However, it is essential to remember that smoke color is only one indicator that is part of a number of indicators. That is part of a that smoke color is only one indicator that is part of a number of indicators used to predict fire behavior and must be considered in context. So the above signs of reading smoke are excellent tools to have, but they are not all-inclusive. The Art of Reading Smoke by Dodson stresses that firefighters and incident commanders need to use their best judgment when reading smoke and committing firefighters to assignments. Here are a few tips Dodson shared in the first part of his book. So, firstly, stop watching the fire. The first big barrier to learn to read smoke is that our eyes are naturally drawn to light and movement, both of which are exhibited by fire. The fire is the end game, Dodson said. An experienced firefighter looks away from the light. So that is a good thing to know, is to look away from the light of the fire, because we're going to be drawn to that and kind of lose our sense of direction. Secondly, know the four characteristics of smoke: volume, color, velocity, and density. More importantly, know how to look at smoke and quickly identify it in terms of these characteristics. And thirdly, thin, black, fast smoke indicates a well-ventilated fire is nearby. Fourthly, slow, white, dissipating smoke. First thick, but then thinning quickly is a sign of steam and indicates early stage heating. And finally, brown smoke indicates unfinished wood burning. In lightweight construction, this can be a warning sign for building collapse. So, now we have more of an idea of if you did see a fire, say you saw a fire anywhere, you would know a little bit more about what to do in that situation. So if it's that really dark smoke, then you know that there's a good chance that it's wood burning, or brownish smoke, then it's a good chance that there's wood burning, and whatever's burning inside, you want to stay away from that just because there's going to be collapse. And it's already been burning for a while. And also, really thick black smoke means that it's probably going to be something more petroleum or rubber-based and things like that. So very glad that we looked this up, because, yeah, it's good information to have. Anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful day. If there's any comments, suggestions for other classes, but also concerns when it comes to this, please let us know in the group chat, and we can discuss it even more. But anything to keep us safe in any situation will be very helpful. All right. Well, ciao for now. Hope to see you all very soon.